Good morning from my smartphone to yours. I am live on the beaches of San Francisco, California, and this is your Thursday Namaste Today. Good morning and Namaste, and welcome to Namaste Today. I'm your host and spiritual life coach, stepº22. My modality is psychic astrology, and my personal mission is to stand in my heart and help other people into theirs. Hello, my friends. This webisode is for Thursday, February 11th, 2016, and today the Great Human Walk has reached step 22, Aquarius. This is the final quantum step, or the highest vibration Aquarius gets. So it's going to be an intense day. In fact, I would say this is the most liquid day of the year. When I say liquid, I mean the capacity for reality to melt down and reform. Okay, like this is probably the most psychedelic day of the year. So hello and welcome, and I'm very grateful. I'm on the beaches of San Francisco, and it is just absolutely beautiful here today. It's unusual weather, people are out, and I don't think this beach gets enough attention because it's usually so cold, but today the citizens are out and loving it, and I hope you can feel the vibe where you are. Let's start with today's vibe, speaking of vibe, and predict your day ahead. I think today will be sunny and dimensional. I mean that sincerely. In fact, I would not be too surprised if everyone has one little quasi moment where you kind of pop in and out of reality. You'll know what I mean. You know, when you go through kind of a dimensional shift, you wonder if you're on pharmaceutical drugs. I mean, you're just like, did I? You know, just everything kind of shifts. I remember in The Matrix, when they say something goes wrong with The Matrix, like the little kitty cat goes by twice, and you're like, what? You know, today's one of those days. Today's one of those days where The Matrix really does upgrade. This is like the upgrade day. This is the day where with ISIS and Barack Obama and everyone running for president and all the different attempts on the earth for people to be the highest, to have the best, to be the greatest, that high kind of idea, today is the highest point. So what does that mean for you? Well, it means that your heart is excited, but you're probably nervous and you don't know why. So you're probably going to feel an excitement and a nervousness and an anxiety, and there'll be no reason for any of it. I just feel uncomfortable in my own skin on a step 22 Aquarius day. But I think you're going to feel, although kind of strange, you'll feel strong, but also impatient at the same time. So the moon is in Aries, and so we're not really taking the time to nurture. So if you're in my personal Sensei service, you'll see that I'm texting you a lot to nurture yourself. I think what we're open to today are good ideas. So although things are dimensionally weird and you might be observing yourself in a different kind of form, really what we're looking for are solutions. We're looking for who is the highest height, who has the most innovative thing to say. So in that sense, I think people are looking to be inspired that way. What we're thinking about is taking action and making our move. So I'm thinking about making my move today, taking my action, but because of the anxiety energy of the step 22 Aquarius, you might not feel ever grounded or like it's the right time. So even though you feel like you should and you think you should really wait and see when the right moment is. And trust me, you will know when the right moment is. Now our ego is feeling impatient and our ego is feeling ungrounded. I am impatient, I am ungrounded today. And that's because of Mars' placement in Scorpio. So I don't think there's any way around this weird feeling. Everyone's going to feel just a pinch, you know what I mean? Just a little moment where things are kind of awkward. And really, I think it all comes down to the survival kit of every Aquarius. I think every Aquarius feels like an alien on planet Earth, and the only way that makes it feel better is if the Aquarius takes the time to feel better. So if you feel alien today, you got to take the time to feel better. So lastly, what am I experiencing? I'm experiencing dimensional shifts that are way far out, man. And that may be the case. So today you might experience a dimensional shift with a family member, with a place at work. Sometimes dimensional shifts are kind of interesting in the sense that you just realize that, when she opened her mouth about him, or when he said that about her, That's when the whole thing shifted. You could just feel it in the room, people say, right? You could cut the tension with the knife, people say. So you're probably familiar with these dimensional shifts, and today I predict that you will experience one of your own. It'll be far out, and again, you'll be getting some sort of answer from it. So today's joy quest, should you choose to accept it, is to turn up the music and put on your shades, man, because it's going to be kind of far out, literally. And I'll just say, literally, the last time I said we were in this dimensional shift, I said drink the Kool-Aid, and a lot of people said, oh, that reminds me of, South America where people all died. That's fair enough. I'll say that. I just want to say on the air, don't drink the Kool-Aid because of that. But this is the time where if you are open to what you may not have been normally open to, if you're open to expect the unexpected, if you've asked the universe to be surprised and delighted in your reality, then I would say in the next 24 hours, 36 hours, the universe is certainly offering that opportunity. So, again, your joy quest is turn up the music, put on the shades, and rock on your reality. So let's take a look at today's topic, which is going to help you basically connect to this awesome Aquarius lovemaking. Today's topic is social lovemaking, the birth of a new nation. And I mean this in the sense of how it is we go quantum and dimensional. When we talk about, I think it's so apropos actually that I'm in San Francisco. This is the birth of Haight-Ashbury and the hippie movement and the whole radical kind of thinking of psychedelics and all of that, right? In the 60s, the summer 69, all that. And literally today, step 22 represents that idea. I think the baby boomers were the first to kind of break our dimensional ideas of what reality is, and they did that through drugs and experimentation, and also through sex and freedom and women's rights. I think, and it was a powerful moment. And I think that eclectic, innovative spirit will come back again. I think it's going to come back again with the millennials, to be honest with you. And I think it's starting to break out now. Just mark my words as Sensei. So today's topic, social lovemaking, is the idea of the hippie movement coming back. But this time, I think, a little smarter. I don't think the hippie movement is going to be what it was the first time, because we've all learned so many powerful lessons since then about, what comes with the price of freedom and how far is too far. But, this all comes up because I do want to do a shout out to Gloria Steinem, who is 81, incredibly intelligent, and still just rocking the airwaves for feminism. I saw her on Bill Maher, and she has a new book out called My Life on the Road. And I'm going to read this book, by the way, because when she means by my life on the road, she means being as an organizationalist, her traveling, trying to unite the feminist movement, and traveling the country. In a way, that's how I kind of look up to her, because I want to unite the light and try to bring together the heartfelt people of America. So take a look at her. But what's interesting is she ended up saying stuff on Bill Maher. If you guys watch Bill Maher, watch it. It was a great interview. And she was just talking about modern feminism. And she ended up saying some sort of joke about how when girls are young girls, they end up going after what the boys go after. And she meant that girls can be chasing after boys instead of chasing after politics. But she came out and tweeted later and said that, and wanted to say that a woman can be a feminist whether she votes for Bernie or votes for Hillary. The whole point is that I think you're voting, right? But I bring it up today because I think today is a day where people are going to have some sort of a breakthrough, some sort of a dimensional shift, much like the dimensional shift that Gloria Steinem has brought our world and done so well for us. So I'm going to read her book. But the millennials, which is my son, are the Pluto and Sagittarians. And this generation, which gets all the credit, where they're like, the millennials will do this and the millennials won't do that. Well, I just want to roll back the clock to 1776, because back when there was birthing this new nation, it was the exact same setup with generations, where what would have been the millennials then were the generation that was going to either fight in the war or not fight in the war. And once again, the millennials, which is the Pluto and Sagittarius generation, is the one that will fight for a political revolution or not political revolution with Bernie Sanders. It's very interesting. And I'll point out that what it all comes down to is Pluto in Sag. This generation, my son's generation, was born not knowing what they believe in. And they are going to go with the best, most convincing answer. Probably the one that's on YouTube, and probably the one that's simple and has music, okay? This is why Trump is taking over. This is why small-mindedness can go far, because the millennials, the Pluto and Sagittarius generation, are looking for what they believe in it, and their hearts will know when they find it. So I think we should all be aware of that. And for the people out there who are light walkers like myself, I think a lot of the work is presenting the sides for this generation to make the wise choice. Really, that's the best we can do. But you know, each time Pluto's in Capricorn, which is the birth of our nation, and what we're about to come up against with Saturn conjuncting, it always becomes an us and them. It's, you know, and the United States always goes through us and them, and this us and them thinking. And I just want to put out there that might be part of the problem. You know, when we birthed this nation, it was us and them were Britain. When it was, of course, the Civil War, it was the North and them were South, or South and them were North. And even now, you know, it's, you know, we've gone through civil rights where it's the whites and it's the blacks. But now in this particular time, the us and the em, if you know, and the them isn't so clear. The lines aren't clear. Who's a homegrown terrorist versus and you'll notice that's how reality works. So we get closer and closer and closer, or it becomes more and more difficult to separate us and them. So today's topic is social lovemaking, because I just want to put out there the simplicity of how this really works and why it worked back with the hippies. It worked with the hippies because they were out there on a love, heart-based basis, and they were social networking based on love. There might have been drugs, there might have been experimentation, there might have been Gloria Steinem burning bras, but they were heart-based, and that's what made it all work. Now, they were naive, they didn't protect themselves, there were some dark forces on the planet after Hitler that wanted control, and so, you know, the baby boomers got shot down pretty poorly. But I will say that as we go out there and we do this perhaps dimensional shift in the next 24, 36 hours, keep in mind that I think that the way to unite everyone is to really let them follow their heart and follow that love song. So I'll end this little segment with the 5 o'clock question, something to think about for yourself. The first is, have you ever participated in a social movement or a change? And I know a lot of baby boomers who are watching this probably have, and that's why you've inspired me. You should know that. And the follow-up question is, did you lose yourself, stand out, or did you thrive? And I'll just say that I have not been a part of a social movement. I've been trying to create one my entire life, one towards love and towards God. But I will say that all three happen. I think when you become a part of a movement, you do lose yourself in the movement at times. You do stand out among your brothers and sisters at times, but you do also thrive, because when you're part of a movement, you're part of something greater than yourself, and that means you have no place to go but up. All right, my friends, let's close this beautiful sun setting day with today's Zen Den. And welcome to the Zen Den. And before I show you today's planets, let's take 3 breaths with this amazing ocean behind us and take advantage of Mother Nature here. Okay. So I have an affirmation for you to kind of get through the bizarro of the day after you turn up the music and put on your shades and rock out your song. And it is, I feel my song today and I'm ready to sing. And so it is. I feel my song and I'm ready to sing. So in essence, you know your unique gifts, you know your song. If the universe offers you a dimensional shift today, which is like a stairway to heaven that allows you to come back, or, you know, some sort of interesting exploration, then if you know what you sing and what your song is, just be ready to sing. The universe might call on you, and if the universe doesn't call on you, you'll probably witness someone else being called on. All right? So let's take a look at these planets and why is it so dimensional? For starters, it has to do with the sun. The sun is in step 22 of Aquarius. Now 2 plus 2 makes 4. We learned that in kindergarten, right? And 4 is the number of Aquarius. So this is the highest frequency Aquarius hits. This is the most dynamic frequency I know. Anyone born on a step 22 day is going to do some magic in their lifetime, but before they do, they're probably a hot mess. So I'll just say that right now. But 22 is a fun degree, and it's when things start to really cook up. Now, the reason why things get even crazier is the moon. The moon is in Aries and will tour the lower degrees for most of today. That means our ego will be kicking and screaming, and our ego will be impatient, and our ego will not want to hold out. So that's the biggest thing. You got to channel that emotion into taking care of your own baby emotions. Don't channel the emotion into acting out. There'll be a propensity to. Now you can see just further up the scale here that tomorrow the moon will cross over Uranus. We'll talk about that. But in essence, that is a breakdown or a temper tantrum waiting to happen. Many of my clients say that they actually get things happen to them a little sooner than my reporting. This is one of them. You may have a total breakdown emotionally before the moon crosses Uranus if you're a person that tends to manifest early. Now, adding to the electricity is Mars. Mars, also known as the dumbass, is at step 20. Step 20 is I feel it, and that's it. There's a 0 after that. You feel it, and there's a cliff. So this is kind of the Fool card, and this certainly will make people probably a little trigger happy, or people might be quick to pull the trigger and sabotage something too soon. So timing is everything. I guess people have an itchy trigger finger with Mars at step 20. And then lastly, I think where a lot of the power has to do in upper Capricorn. You know, after the Mercury retrograde, we went all the way back and forward again with Mercury and Capricorn, and that means we've been thinking through control, thinking through what we should do. Well, Mercury today is at step 27. 27 adds to a 9, which is Mars or Aries. So that means that our mind is also very trigger finger, and we're ready to act. That means our mind is ready to act. So as you can see, everything is electric. Everything is ready to jump and be dimensional. You just have to hold yourself back. It really comes down to Venus. Venus is at step 23 today in Capricorn, and I think Venus is the only part of this energy that will keep you from going over the wrong cliff. Because as you can tell, the 22 is all about breaking through. The Mars is all about taking action, right? All this energy is all about jump, jump, and hurry up, and don't even wait. The only thing that's being conservative is Venus. Step 23 means that you will open up, or she will open up, when you feel it and you believe it. So in essence, if you can just hold back the electric parade today, hold back the weird vibrations till the moment. Like, don't jump on the party, or don't jump for someone's love until you, step 2, feel it and believe it. That's the mark according to the astrology. Yeah, the last thing that that Creator and the universe wanted me to talk about was Jupiter. Jupiter has retrograded to step 21, and it will continue retrograding for some time. But what's important is what people believed reality would be. Whatever you believed your life would be in October, November, okay, when Jupiter was scaling through, Spirit wants you to know you're probably wrong. What you thought it would be is not going to be what it's going to be. Now, I told everyone that whatever you thought was going to happen and whatever you thought your life was just to get you moving out of the life you were, but not necessarily the life you're meant to go into. Well, as of now, we're reaching that point where part of the dimensional shift is you got to let go of the way you thought it was and stay open to the way it might be. Be an observer, be a participant, be open, and realize, because Jupiter's retrograde in Virgo, nobody will get it the way they thought it was. Nobody, not even Donald Trump, I have to say. All right, my friends, it's a beautiful day here in San Francisco. I hope it's a beautiful day in your heart where you are. A couple of shouts out. For one, I will be at the Conscious Life Expo on February 19th and 20th. We'll have a booth. We're the first booth there. Come say hello. And we'll be presenting as Namaste today and my personal Sensei service. So please come down and say hello. If you can't do that, we have a Love Fest party that evening on February 20th, and I'm looking forward to meeting my LA friends. Hey friends, do remember I love you. I will be there for you in 24 hours with your famous Friday show. And until then, live, love, be.
So